Hey, Washington football fans. Today, I want to go over my projection of what will be our starting defense this year. Now, we added a lot of good players in the draft. I think it's going to make a big difference, and those guys are going to see the field early. We're going to start out with our defensive line, which we all know who's going to start there. We got Deron Payne and Jonathan Allen in the middle. No surprise. And the backup, well, the second string is no joke either. I mean, Matt Ioannidis, he's been ranked a top 10 defensive tackle before. He gets a little more pressure than both of them, so they're definitely going to put him in on passing plays, assuming he's healthy. And Tim Settle's no laughing matter either. PFF has gone as far before as to say that we should trade Deron Payne away because Settle we wouldn't miss a beat with Settle. Now, after this last season of play, I don't really think that's true at all, and I would love to keep the whole band together, but it's been said, so that's just a vote of confidence for me for our backups. I mean, I already love Tim Settle, so it doesn't matter. Then on the outside there, we got the best pass rushing duo in the NFL, Chase Young and Montez Sweat. These guys, they inspire you. They make you think back to a time like Charles Mann and Dexter Manley when we had just this incredible pass rush. These guys, of course, everything evolves and they're even more monstrous. And I mean, everybody knows that's who's going to start. But with some additions in the draft, I think that their backups are going to be already on the team. James Smith-Williams, and then William Bradley King from the draft. These guys sound like some famous assassins, like taking shots from the grassy knolls. You know, with the three names, I just found it funny. We got the assassination second string. Hopefully they can snipe some sacks when they're spelling our guys. That would be nice. I mean, Ryan Kerrigan came in and got some sacks with very few snaps last season. Then our linebacker group got a major upgrade in the draft with Jamin Davis. Now, because of his athleticism, there's a lot of talk about him playing the will. And like they've said, they think he can play all across at every position at linebacker. But I think this guy ends up as the Mike by the end of the season. He's got all the intelligence. He's got all the athleticism. He'll eventually take over and replace Bostic. And that paves the way for Khaleke Hudson, second-year player out of Michigan, to take over at the will linebacker role. Now, this guy, he came in late last year and he made some plays. He's getting better. But in college, I mean, he was in Jim Harbaugh's defense at Michigan at the same time as Rashawn Gary and Devin Bush, and he still managed to be a featured player. He was Jim Harbaugh's Viper. He was in the Viper position, which is like a hybrid linebacker, blitzing safety role. So he's got all the athleticism to be back, covering passes, and he still offers that extra ability to come up and blitz. And I'd like to see that happen. And he could do that very well from the will position. I think that's where he gets worked out there. And Jack Del Rio was talking about Landon Collins being the starting strong safety. And everybody kind of took a groan, thinking about Cameron Curl. But I think what ends up happening is Khaleke Hudson will be the will and the base defense. And then when we go to play our big nickel packages, I think Landon Collins is going to play the big nickel safety closer to the line. I think that makes more sense for him than playing strong safety. You know, it wouldn't make as much sense for Cam Curl to play closer to the line. Because even though they've asked Landon to lose weight, he's still just a bigger, like thicker guy that could take on more contact than Cameron Curl. Like the repetitive contact that a linebacker will take. But he'd still be in like a pseudo will role, so he's not taking on like the full amount of contact that a normal linebacker would. So it'd still be easier on him, and he's more equipped to handle it than Cameron Curl, in my opinion. Nothing against Cameron Curl. I just think Cameron Curl's the overall better player to play farther back away from the line. But, I mean, that's just the way I see it. And then what I'm hoping is the big surprise addition to the linebacker group is 7th rounder Shaka Toney. Shaka Toney's edge rusher, but he's super undersized. And, man, like I've said it, this guy's got Anthony Barr written all over him. If we can snatch an Anthony Barr type player in the 7th round, after grabbing a guy like Cameron Curl in the 7th round last year, then we're just doing it right. Like, somebody out there in Washington's living life right. Because, like, wow. I mean, this guy's a freaky athlete. They've been working. They worked him out at the Senior Bowl. Like, he's ready to be a Sam. And I think when you go in the big nickel, you keep him and Jamin on the field, and everything's locked down. This guy, he's just so explosive, and he can really punish anybody coming out of the backfield. He's fast enough to stick with these tight ends and everything, and just imagine sending this guy on a blitz. Like, he can already get to the pass rusher get to the passer while taking on a block. If he comes free in a blitz, he might end a quarterback's life out there. Like, this could be exciting. You know, it's like NASCAR. You watch it for the wrecks. Like, that's what it's going to be like in the backfield with him. It's going to be crazy. And then Cameron Curl, like, I think Cameron Curl needs to be the starting strong safety. Big nickel sets or whatever, like, he should be in the base formation. He should be the strong safety. Landon Collins, regardless of how much money he's making, how great he is, Cameron Curl's shown that he can play better. He should be the guy at strong safety, out in the box, doing everything we need. So, I mean, the nickel would be crazy with him in it. Him and Landon Collins on the field at the same time. Just gets crazy. And then cornerback 1, William Jackson, of course. Free agency acquisition. I mean, we signed him, and he is a legitimate top-tier cornerback in the NFL. To put him behind our defensive line, our newly improved whole front 7, I think he might finish this year somewhere very close to the top of the league statistically in his position. I think he's going to be one of the highest ranked cornerbacks because it's just going to be so easy for him behind this front 7. And then cornerback 2, kind of a big shocker here, but I think the rookie, Ben St. Juste, comes in, takes over at the opposite side, and it lets Fuller move back into the slot. Like, I love Ben St. Juste in college. He was one of my favorite corners coming out. He's got amazing athleticism for his size. Like, people give him knocks for being, a little slower. But, man, this guy's like 6'4". He's got long limbs. And for him to be as agile as he is with those limbs is something you don't see. Like, his 3-cone and short shuttle and everything like that were crazy. Like, you don't see 6'4" guys get that. And this is a guy that's going to come in and be almost like a Richard Sherman. I really believe it. He was, in my opinion, like, jamming off the line, press coverage. I thought he was right there just behind J.C. Horn. But I thought he played in a manner that it would lead to less penalties in the NFL. Like, I thought J.C. Horn, when I watched him play, I'm like, man, he would get flagged. But watching Ben St. Juste, a lot of the way he did it, I was like, he'd probably get away with that. And if he was just a tick faster and pulled down some interceptions while he was in college, if he got any interceptions while he was in college, this guy would have went a lot earlier, a whole lot earlier. But he didn't, so we were able to get him in a third, and I'm really pumped about that. Every year, like, first round corners flounder. Like, there's guys taken in the first round. There's always a couple. And they just don't do any good. They might never do good. It might be 2 or 3 years before they do good. But there's always this range of guys from like the 3rd to 6th round every year at that position that come out and ball. I really, really think that we got that in St. Juste. He's going to be one of those guys that comes straight out the draft and just handles his business and really gets it done out there. And of course, that moves Kendall Fuller back to the slot, which, hey, when we're not doing big nickel and we want an extra corner out there, still a starting position as the slot corner, Kendall Fuller gets to go back there where he's the best at. He's one of the best slot corners in the league. It's where his talents are best suited. He gets to go back there with an improved defense around him, and he gets the ball out too. His stats are going to look crazy too. And then on to free safety. Now, we've been talking to Trey Boston, and we have a workout or an interview set up with Bobby McCain that just got released by the Dolphins. We got that lined up. But this is another position. This is another position where I think a rookie could actually take over with Derek Forrest. Now, I think all this talk about core special teamers that they're throwing out about him and St. Juste is just kind of a little BS, so that these young guys come in and work hard and all that. They don't just think they have a job lined up. Keeps them hungry and working hard. But a guy with his skills, athleticism, IQ, like, this guy is going to be coached up and has a very, very good chance of getting the starting job. I think if he gets, it's a big upgrade if he gets the starting job. That said, Jeremy Reeves did play really good through 9 games last year. I mean, we're not giving him enough credit. Like, we were really desperate at free safety, but through 9 games, I mean, at least statistically, he played great at free safety, but I think he's a little limited compared to Derek Forrest. So maybe Forrest doesn't start right away, but I think he gets his shots, and I think he shines when he does. Otherwise, I think we're okay with Jeremy Reeves. But with either one of them, either way, I think either one of them clean up back there and like behind this like defensive juggernaut that we've assembled, it's going to be rough for any team. It's something to feel great about. This defense, I honestly, when you think about it, when have you seen another defense like this? You've got the 2002 Buccaneers. You look at them top to bottom, they're still not as complete as this. But, they had some at this point we know that they're Hall of Famers. At the time you knew they were great and they handled their business. But just looking at us now, it's like, man, this could be a defense if we keep it together and it grows. That ends up like that. The 2000 Ravens. You kind of knew by that point, like, with some of the players, that it was going to be an all-time great. We're right there, guys. I really feel like we're right there. This can be an all-time great defense. An all-time great defenses definitely win championships. Both those teams won Super Bowls with trash quarterbacks. And I think we could do it. There's a crazy situation going on now where we could actually maybe get Aaron Rodgers. If we get Aaron Rodgers, everybody else in the league might as well just pack it in for the next, 10 years. Or, next 5 years before he retires. Regardless, I'm super excited about this team. Really excited about this defense. This is how I think it's going to shake out for the starters. Let me know what you think down below. If you liked the video, give me a like, comment, subscribe. I'm gonna release one about who I think the starting offense will be, and just more Washington football team content. So yeah, everybody listened. I love you guys. Peace.